Hello, in this tutorial I will show you how to create this setup, which is a first person that is moving along the spline in Unreal Engine 5. This setup you can create in any template. This particular one is in the game template, but you can create it in any template, and I will show you how. So for that you need to go, of course, to your content folder, and then if you are using a template that does not have the first person, first you have to click add here, and then go to add feature or content pack here, and then click on the first person and add to the project. When you have that, you will see those folders here: first person arms, first person weapon, and stuff like that. And then you need to go to edit, you need to go to project settings, and then you go to maps and modes, and then you're gonna see something more like this. In the default modes here, you should change the default game mode from whatever is going to be here to your first person. Okay, after you've done that, we're going to need our path. So for that we will need to build another blueprint. So I created this other folder for the path only, and here is that blueprint. To create a blueprint, what you need to do is you have to right click on your content browser and create blueprint class here, and then choose actor or whatever else you need, but in this case it's going to be an actor. I already have this, so I'm not gonna do that. And please remember to name your blueprints accordingly so that you know how to find them. I usually use BP underscore whatever, in this case path. BP standing for blueprint. Okay, so, and in the first person folder we already have the blueprint for the first person that is already created and installed in Unreal Engine. Okay, so then we're going to open these two blueprints. Okay, so when it comes to our first person, usually the setup I do is, what you will see is arms, usually, aside from the camera and the capsule. So I usually make those arms invisible because in this case you don't need it, but if you need the arms, that's okay. It's just a mesh, so I made them invisible, and then I click compile. And it's important to click compile often so that because sometimes some of the details don't show up until you compile, so remember to do that, and then of course save. Okay, so next is our path setup. So in my case it's a camera and a capsule and a spline, but I'm pretty sure you only need spline, so just click add here and search for spline, not spline mesh, just spline, and you're gonna have this line with a dot in the end, little square in the end, and that's your spline. Okay, next thing is that you are going to need to go to the event graph, and in your first person event graph there are already some things that Unreal Engine prepared for you, like the jumping or the camera input. I disabled the jumping by just pressing Alt and clicking on this node, this connection here, and it disappeared. Okay. I don't touch the camera. Camera is all good. Okay, so then we're going to need some variables in our first person character so that it can attach to the spline and move alongside it. So here on the left, there are some components. This first component, B has rifle, is just like the default component that is there because of the first person pack. It's basically the component that allows the character to pick up the gun, but we do not need it, so I'm gonna delete this. It's in use. Do I really want to delete it? Well, I'm not using it, but okay, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll just leave it, but it's not important, so whatever. Then the variable that is important to us is a Boolean variable that asks if the character is attached to Spline. So how do we add it? We go here to the variable place and we click the plus, and here, after clicking the plus, our variable appeared. And it first, okay, so you can name it however you want, and then you can change it. It's a Boolean already, so it's okay, but you can change it into whatever you want. Okay, I'm going to delete it because we don't need it. Then another important variable that we're going to use is distance along the spline, and it's going to be a float because it's going to be a number. And then movement speed, again, another float. And changing this is pretty straightforward. You just click here and you search for float. But then we also have the follow spline, and that's a variable that is referencing the blueprint of our path, this one here. So what we need to do is, when we create this new variable and we change it, we should go to here. No, actually, you can just search it here, BP path, and then go to object reference. So you have your reference to this object. Okay. And I also made it public so that it is editable on each instance of this blueprint. Okay. Next, we're going to do the same preparation for the BP path. So we add speed, float, distance along the spline, float again. Then we're going to need the player reference. So basically we do the same thing like in the first person with path. So we just add a new variable and we choose first person as our object reference, first person blueprint. Then we need a variable that asks if the path is looped, if we want to move continuously along that spline, if it's closed. And then we also have another input object, which is just an object. Is it really that necessary? Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's in use. Okay. So after we have all this prepared, or these variables, now it's time to create the nodes. This is the most complicated part, and it's been a work of trial and error and a lot of help from my friend Robert Feiker, whom I'm doing a shout out now. Thank you, Robert, for helping me. um, okay, so actually what we could do now is we could start creating the things within the event graph in our path. Okay, so first at the event, we create the event begin play, or you probably have this already in your event graph. So navigate to that node. And then when you click and drag this, you can place a new node. And in this case, search for get all actors of class, or actors of, yeah, in this case it's get all actors of class. And the actor that we're going to get is the first person, right here. You can search for it again. Next, what you're going to need is for each loop, so that the node for each loop. Again, you can drag it out for each loop and it's going to be there. One more thing, here you can see that something is context sensitive. So the search is context sensitive. So whatever you have in your event graph is kind of influencing whatever you have. You can search here. You can turn it off if you think that you need something else that is not being suggested. But usually, more often than not, it's completely, it will be enough for you to use. So I recommend having this on for each loop. And then we need to take from out actors, from this array here. This symbol of those little squares is a symbol of an array. We need to get a particular index from that array. So we do this and get array, get a copy, and you will have this node. Then take this out and add it here to that get. And then what we need to do is we have this set player reference. So how we make this node is we take the player reference, this, and we just set it like this. And it's here. And then you can attach the nodes together with this link. And this get to, from this get, this blue link goes to the player reference. Okay, there's going to be a lot of explaining like that, so be prepared. Okay, then we need to set the character movement. So we do this again. We open the components here, and there should be, oh yes, if you don't have this variable, then you should add it again, like this, character movement, and the character movement component, and then object reference. I forgot to mention that. And then set it like this. So again, drag and drop it. And then connect these two together. And the next thing is set the movement mode. I have it on swimming, but it doesn't really matter because we are going to disable the movement. We don't need our character to move by itself. So basically search for those nodes, and then the target in the set movement mode is going to be the player. So we take this player reference, and to achieve this type of node, it's like this, and then just drag and drop, and then just click get instead of set. And then when you attach it like this, yeah, it's just going to automatically make this little node with the target and the character movement. That's how helpful Unreal Engine blueprint system is. Okay. Then we are going to drag and drop, drag this out and search for disable movement. Yes, sometimes you have to write almost the whole thing to find it. And then we set the is attached to spline variable, which is actually a reference from our first person. You see here. So how we do it is drag, and then we search for is. God damn it. Why is it not here? Oh, okay. So it goes from the player reference, which we drag and drop here and get again. Is attached to spline. Yes, and then we click on set to achieve this node. Okay, so this part of the BP path is done. Then we need to make the whole blueprint on the movement itself. So this was helping us attach the first person character with its ability to move along the spline, and this is going to like make how we move, because here we have the speed, here we have the distance and stuff like that. Okay, so I hope you're ready for this. So we take event tick and we take our delta seconds, drag, drop, and to achieve this we can just use X or multiply, operator multiply. You will see something like this, and then you can take this variable speed, get, and then just put it here. Okay? And you do the same with the distance along the spline, and when you drag and drop it here, you can just click plus and you will have your operator add. Okay, then we put our input object from here, get it, and then we check if it's valid. So drag drop is valid, this little node here, and then when it's we assume it is valid, so then we take this out. And okay, so I am not entirely sure what this does, but I'm not a programmer, so like I really don't remember, but it works. Trust me, it will work. I hope. We have to believe. Okay, so then we drag this and we take the distance along the spline again and we set it. We attach it like here. And then from this set, you can drag and take the set relative transform. So your node is going to look set relative relative transform for no, again, ugh, Jesus Christ. Okay, this set relative transform I chose it for the capsule from the first person, and then this new transform, what we can do is we can split the struct pin. Okay, so that this is what you have to do. One more time. Drag this here, set relative transform, new transform, right click, split struct pin, and then you have the transform location, transform rotation, and transform scale, all separate. And then you add your player reference, this, get, and add it to the target. Okay, and also remember to take the spline component from here, or you can take it from up here, like this, and the distance along the spline, and you have to drag this and search for the node get transform at distance along spline. So you get the spline and get this dance. No, I'm sorry. Get transform at distance along spline. And then you add your distance along spline to the distance itself. Yes. Okay. When you have this part done, it's only one more smaller half left. So you basically take out the link from the set relative transform and you search for the branch node. Branch, just choose this. And you're gonna need two of them. And to the first, add your variable looped, like this. So get looped. And then take out the spline variable again, then distance along the spline again. And this is important. The order of this is very important. So here we have our something is greater than something. So, you know, math, whatever we want to be greater than the other thing, it has to be first. So yeah, so just put the distance along the spline here at the top as the A, and then spline, get spline length, search for this node, and then the return value put to the bottom. And then put this, the Boolean return value, into the second branch, and take distance along spline, set it, and attach it to the second branch. Okay, so that's the setup for the BP path. Compile, save. If you have any bugs here or errors, it's because your BP first person character is not done yet, so don't worry, it's gonna disappear. Okay, So now go to BP first person character. Okay, Jesus, 25 minutes. Okay, this is this is a long tutorial. Okay, but please bear with me. We can do this. Okay. So first things first, what we need here is get the path blueprint in the follow, get the path in the follow spline variable. So that the follow spline variable is not empty, we need to get that path here. Okay, so here at the event begin play, we drag this out. Again, we get actor of class. We choose that actor, which is BP path, or however you named your path blueprint. And then we take the component, the variable follow spline, and we set it, and we connect these things together. Okay, and then this part, the movement input, is next part we're going to need. Okay, so this left, right, forward, backward, you should have this already in your blueprint. So take this node, the enhanced input action IA move, and disconnect this from the add movement input, and take distance along spline, set it, and apply it to this enhanced input action node. Then get movement speed and distance along spline, add them together, and by again dragging this, choosing the plus, and then attaching the two things into those circles here. And then take this out and attach it to the distance along spline. Okay, so we have that. Then drag out this link and search for set actor location. Okay, and the new location looks a little different than here, but that's because later to this new location we're going to attach this. Okay, so to do that, first take out follow spline, distance along spline, and then no, just maybe get, no, we will have to distance along spline, then search for this node, get transform at distance along spline. So get tran, and it's not this node, it's probably follow spline. So yeah, just follow spline, get transform at distance along the spline. So this, and then attach distance along spline to the distance, and then return value location to the new location of the set actor location. Drag this out, make another branch, and again take follow spline, get spline length, distance along spline, and do the same thing as here with the distance being greater than the spline length. Attach it to the condition of the branch and set the distance along spline like this again. Okay, so that's the setup of the event graphs of the first person and the path. Compile it, save it. I hope there are no more bugs or errors. If they are, let me know. And the next thing that you'll have to do is you just have to your path, the blueprint with your path. Basically what you have to do when you have it, I'm just going to make a trial here. Okay, so I'm gonna add spline to this, compile, save. And yeah, so basically you take your working blueprint path and you drag it out, press F to find it on the map so that your camera zooms in. And then when you have this, click here, press Alt, press Alt like this, and then you can build your path like so. And if you want it to be looped, what you have to do is you have to go to your blueprint path, and here on the right in the details you choose closed loop, compile, save, and your loop should be closed. Mine doesn't look very good, but you can just edit it whenever. I don't understand why I can't see mine. My cursor in the viewport. It's very annoying, but okay. You see? So you can work with it like that. Okay, and here I built this scene to show how this should work. I put this plane, I put those cubes floating around to for a reference of movement, so that we know that we're moving. But honestly, you can just put the path however you want. Okay, press play. And I am using W to move forward. And I'm moving. And the movement is looped. I can also move my camera. I can also get dizzy. Oh, one more thing. Speed. I forgot to mention. Speed should be a public variable. So click these eyes. Whatever eyes open you see here, just do it. Just click them, make them open. And then here, when you click on this variable, speed, you can change the speed. Here I have 200, but I can change it to, let's say, 50. And it will be, is it slower? Let's say 1. Compile and save. It's not much slower. Huh. Oh god. Well, anyways, you do need to add something to the speed so that it works. Let's see if... Oh, maybe in the movement speed? Yeah, okay, there's also the movement speed. I forgot, of course. Let's say I put 0 here. And yeah, then I cannot move anymore. But if I add 20, I move way slower. Okay, so that should be it. And thank you for watching.